stop. Do not buy a TV in 2025. At least, not until you know the dirty little secret the big tech companies are hiding from you. Most of you are about to spend $2,000 on a screen that is going to look terrible in your living room, simply because you fell for a marketing buzzword. You think brighter means better? You think 8K matters? You are wrong. And it's going to cost you a fortune. Buying a TV right now is a nightmare. It really is. You walk into a store or browse online, and it's just an alphabet soup of confusion. OLED, QLED, QNED, Mini LED, Micro LED. It feels like you need a degree in engineering just to watch Netflix. And the worst part? The manufacturers want you confused. They want you to look at a high price tag and assume it's the best. But here is the truth. The most expensive TV is often not the best TV for you. I have spent the last few weeks testing, watching, and gaming on the biggest screens of the year. I've dealt with the frustrating menus, I've measured the brightness until my eyes hurt, and I've found the actual winners. I'm going to cut through the noise. We are going to look at the top 5 TVs for 2025 that are actually worth your hard-earned cash. We have the Budget King, the Gaming Beast, and the one TV that is so good, it basically ruins every other screen for you. Let's start with a reality check. Most people do not have $3,000 to drop on a TV. And for a long time, if you didn't spend big money, you got a trash TV. You got gray blacks, blurry motion, and colors that looked like a washed-out painting. But that ends with the Hisense U8N. This TV is what I call the flagship killer. It is making the big boys like Sony and Samsung very, very nervous. Why? Because Hisense decided to pack this thing with Mini LED technology. If you don't know what Mini LED is, imagine thousands of tiny little flashlights behind the screen. Older TVs just had one big light. Mini LEDs can turn on and off individually. This means when you see a starry night sky in a movie, the stars are bright, but the space around them is actually black, not dark gray. The U8N hits a brightness of 3,000 nits. To put that in simple English, it is blindingly bright. If you have a living room with big open windows and lots of sunlight, this TV fights back. The sun will not win. I watched the new Dune movie on this, and the desert scenes felt hot. The colors popped. And for gamers, it supports 144 Hz. That means your games will be buttery smooth, smoother than most monitors. Now, is it perfect? No. The viewing angles aren't great. If you have a wide couch and you sit on the far edge, the picture looks a bit faded, and the software can be a little buggy sometimes. But for the price, it is stealing the lunch money of TVs that cost twice as much. If you want high-end performance without the divorce lawyer price tag, this is the one. Now, let's talk about a problem that ruins movies for everyone. Glare. You know the feeling. You are watching a scary movie. It's a dark scene. The monster is lurking in the shadows, but you can't see the monster. All you can see is your own reflection eating chips on the couch. It kills the immersion immediately. Samsung decided to fix this with the S95D. And they did something very risky. They put a matte finish on the screen. Usually, TVs have glossy glass screens because glass makes colors look sharp. Matte screens, like what you have on a laptop, usually make things look dull. So when I unboxed the S95D, I was worried. I thought it would look flat. I was wrong. This is the most futuristic-looking TV on the list. The technology here is QD-OLED. That stands for Quantum Dot OLED. It combines the perfect blacks of OLED with the pure colors of quantum dots. The result is color vibrancy that is off the charts. Red looks like actual fire. Blue looks like deep ocean water. It is stunning. But that matte screen is the real magic trick. I shined a flashlight directly at the screen, and nothing. No reflection, It just diffused the light. If you play games in a bright room, this is a cheat code. You see everything. There is a catch, though. Because it's a matte screen, during the day, the absolute black levels can look slightly gray if sunlight hits them directly. It's not bad, but videophiles might notice it. Also, Samsung refuses to support Dolby Vision, which is the popular HDR format used by Disney and Netflix. They stick to their own format. It's stubborn and it's annoying. But if you hate reflections more than anything else, the S95D is the only TV that solves the problem. Okay, now we are stepping into the home theater territory. This is for the person who cares about movies more than their own children. I'm kidding. Mostly. For years, if you wanted the best picture, you bought an OLED. End of story. But Sony just did something crazy. Their flagship TV for 2025 is not an OLED. It's the Bravia 9, and it is a mini LED. Why would they do that? Because OLEDs have a limit on brightness. The Bravia 9 does not. This TV is designed to master light. It uses a new driver technology, basically a computer chip that controls the backlight. That is so precise, it's scary. I watched scenes with fireworks on this TV. On other TVs, the fireworks are bright, but they blow out the detail. On the Bravia 9, you can see the color inside the explosion. It's also built like a tank. The sound quality coming out of the TV speakers is actually usable. Usually, TV speakers sound like a tin can on a string. But Sony put tweeters on the sides and top of the frame. It sounds big. You should still get a soundbar, but you won't cry if you don't have one. So, what's the problem? The price. The Sony tax is real. You are paying for the brand, the processing, and the build quality. Also, because it is not an OLED, you might see a tiny bit of blooming, a little halo of light around bright objects in pitch black darkness. It's incredibly rare on this model, almost invisible, but it's technically there. But if you want to see movies exactly how the director intended, with natural colors and insane brightness, the Bravia 9 is a masterpiece. Let's talk about the TV that I recommend to 90% of the people watching this video. The People's Champion. The LG C4. Every year, the LG C series is the gold standard. It's like the Toyota Camry or the Honda Civic. It's reliable, it performs great, and it won't break down on you. The C4 is an OLED. This means each pixel creates its own light. When a pixel turns off, it is perfectly black. Infinite contrast. This makes everything look rich and deep. But the real reason the C4 is number 2 on this list is because of how versatile it is. It comes in every size you can imagine. Need a small 42-inch for your desk to use as a monitor? They have it. Need a massive 83-inch for the basement? They have it. And for gamers, this is the holy grail. It has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. That sounds boring, but it means you can plug in your PS5, your Xbox, and your PC, and all of them can run at 4K 144Hz with VRR. You don't have to swap cables. The gaming menu is fantastic. The brightness on the C4 has been bumped up this year, so it's punchier than the older C3 or C2. It's not as bright as the Hisense or the Sony we talked about, but for a normal room, it is plenty. The only downside? The operating system, WebOS, is getting a little cluttered with ads. You turn on your fancy new TV, and the first thing you see is an ad for mayonnaise. It's frustrating, but you can largely ignore it. For the balance of price, performance, and features, the C4 is the safe bet that you will never regret buying. But you didn't click on this video for safe. You clicked for the best. You want the king, the undisputed champion of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, the LG G4. This TV takes everything good about the C4 and puts it on steroids. The G stands for gallery because it's designed to hang flat on your wall like a piece of art. But the secret weapon here is something called MLA technology, micro lens array. Imagine billions of tiny microscopic lenses, literally billions, layered on top of the pixels to focus the light toward your eyes instead of scattering it inside the screen. This solves the one weakness of OLED. It makes the G4 brighter than we ever thought possible for this technology. When you watch HDR content on this, it is a religious experience. The highlights, like sunlight reflecting off a car or a flashlight beam, are so bright you almost squint. But because it's OLED, the shadows are still perfectly inky black. It creates a 3D effect, where the image looks like it's popping out of the screen. And the processing? LG's new AI chip is doing math in the background to clean up old, grainy footage. I watched some old 720 YouTube videos on this 4K screen, and the TV cleaned them up so well they looked like HD. Here's the best part: reliability. OLEDs used to have a risk of burn-in, where a static image, like a news ticker, would get stuck on the screen permanently. LG is so confident in the G4 that they offer a 5-year panel warranty. That is peace of mind that you just don't get with other brands. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, you need to wall mount it. It doesn't even come with a stand in the box in some regions. But if you have the money and you want the absolute best picture quality that human beings have created up to this point in history, the LG 4 is it. So, there you have it, the landscape of 2025. If you are on a budget but want high-end specs, grab the Hisense U8N. If you live in a glass house with too much sun, get the Samsung S95D. If you are a movie purist who wants a theater experience, the Sony Bravia 9 is your ticket. If you want the best all-around value that does everything well, buy the LG C4. But if you want the ultimate, the king of the hill, the screen that will make your neighbors jealous, get the LG 4. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next review.